Alex from ATGolfCoaching and Gloucester Golf Centre here. Today we're going to look at how technology's moved on. Is it making our game easier? So we're going to try some shots with new and old clubs, see if they go further and straighter, are they more forgiving? Let's see how the game's evolved. So we're in the performance studio now. So what I've got two 2-irons. I've got the 2-iron that I actually use in my bag myself. So this is Titleist 712U. I keep this in my bag myself, and this is my sort of go-to club for off the tee. I would look to hit this just over sort of 220, something like that normally. We've then got a 1930s Richmond 2-iron, so we're obviously going really old, so we are obviously showing just how much clubs have evolved. The first thing that is quite noticeable, mine is about an inch longer in the shaft. So let's have a look at the overall design of the club, see how they've changed and how technology's moved on, and then we're going to hit some shots with both and see which performs best.
Okay then, so let's have a bit of an overview of these two clubs. You can see with them next to each other, both my Titleist and the original 1930s 2-iron, the shape of a 2-iron hasn't massively changed. They're both a traditional muscle-back shape. From the square on and the face of the club, you can see here, this is where they've changed hugely. My club's grooved, which will help grip the ball and spin the ball. Before they had the research and technology to do this, all old clubs tended to be dotted and dimpled on the face, as you can see here, and this doesn't grip or spin the ball as much. When we look at the soles of the clubs here, you can see it's a lot thinner on the left, the older 2-iron, whereas mine's a lot chunkier. This chunkier sole tends to give it a lower centre of gravity and helps launch the ball up in the air again, generating a little bit more power. From down on then, these two positions that you can see here, you can see a lot more club looking down on the more traditional, newer club, whereas the really old 2-iron on top here is a lot thinner. You can almost have a shave with it. It really is a small club, not particularly confidence inspiring. Finally then, looking at these two grips, again I use just a standard Golf Pride Tour Velvet grip, rubber grip, and again it's a comfort thing, will give you a lot better grip whatever the weather, whereas in the olden days again it was very much just a wrap of leather around the grip, and certainly gripping the club as I was hitting it, there is very little grip to it. I can imagine in the wet weather really will give you a very poor or minimal grip. So the clubs have changed slightly, so let's have a go of hitting some.
Right then, so we've got the Richmond 1930s 2-iron up first, obviously a very old club. So let's hit a few shots with it, see how it performs. Okay, so first up, the feel wasn't actually as bad as I was expecting. Distance-wise, pitched it just under 190 to start with, so let's have a couple more. Yeah, not too bad at all. Okay, there's the really bad shot to finish. And again, very unforgiving. Really wasn't a good shot at all to finish. But let's try the Titleist and see how they perform differently. So now we've got my own personal 2-iron. This is what I keep in my bag, Titleist 712U. I've had the luxury, obviously, with modern technology of having this custom fitted specifically to suit myself. So let's have a look how a completely unfitted old club performs to the latest technology and something that's been custom fitted. Let's see if it does perform better. Straight away, pretty good strike there, but the ball was a lot quicker off the club face, so up to 1.4 smash factor, and distance instantly up to about 215 yards. Again, consistently the smash factor is higher, and the ball does seem to be going quite considerably further. But let's have a look at the data between the two and compare the two and see which does actually perform better.
Right then, so here's some flight scope data for the two sets of shots we've been hitting, and we've hit sort of 5 or 10 shots with each of these. We can see the grouping analysis here. The blue circle would indicate the shots dispersion of the Titleist, my own 2-iron, the red indicating shots from the Richmond 1930s 2-iron. And we can see a couple of things very clearly that the Titleist club has gone quite considerably further, looking about 20 to 25 yards further on average in terms of distance. But equally the circle's a lot smaller. This would indicate again that the club's been custom fitted a little bit better, and we have had that more options in terms of shafts and that sort of thing, whereas in the olden days you didn't have that option and technology to fit shafts. It was just a case of get what you were given. And we can see that has made quite a big difference. When we look at the flight scope data here, then we can see quite considerably distance, as we said, 176 yards in total versus 202 yards on average, and again for the shots that I had hit, and again 25 yards difference in terms of distance. The important one here is smash factor. We can see 1.32 against 1.39. We can see the ball is coming off the face a lot quicker with the more modern 2-iron, up to about 10 miles an hour faster off the club face, and this is ultimately where distance is hugely improved. The launch angles are very, very similar, so, and again that's down to loft. Both of the loft of these clubs, we tested them, are playing at about 18 degrees, so for me it's down to the smash factor and technology to make the ball come off the face a lot quicker. They're much more forgiving, as I said, and that's why the distance has obviously gone down hugely. When I hit a bad shot with the Richmond club, because it's not as forgiving, we do lose that element of distance. But on the whole, absolutely, we can see quite clearly the dispersion and the distance over a number of years, which is expected to, but over a number of years, both have improved, both distance and dispersion. So some really interesting stuff here.
So there we have it, guys. Thanks for watching. Obviously, as we've shown you, technology has moved on hugely. Even in the last 5 or 10 years, technology is moving on year by year, so it is hugely important to try and keep your club relatively up to date, but equally custom fitting shows how important it is to get the most out of your golf clubs. Not to the same extent that we've obviously shown you the point today using a 1930s, so I'm hoping that not a lot of you are using clubs of that age, but as I said, it's hugely important. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and equally, like we always say, if there's anything you want us to review, by all means fire a question our way. Thanks for watching, take care and we'll see you soon.